This being HelioSphere, I will start with Child of a Dying Star, which seems to fit. My soul was forged in the fiery heart of a dying distant star. I cast off iron and phosphorus in a journey light years far. Earth and fire, time and space, physics breeds the human race. A simple truth you must embrace. From the heart of a dying star, the winds of space, the bitter cold, lightless in the black. Carbon dust, hydrogen, stellar debris and rock. Force and power you can't see, E&M and gravity. They say the truth will set you free, like the light of a dying star. Time itself's a river, the shoals and banks and tide. No one can fight those rapids, yet the universe abides. Cast out on the stormy sea, downstream equals entropy, cosmos playing deity in the breath of a dying star. So walk this earth with feet of clay, but keep your head cast high. You may be bred of earth and mud, but your soul comes from the sky. Nerve and muscle, bone and brain, the very blood within your veins, all formed out of star remains, cast off by a dying star. Oh, your soul was forged in the fiery heart of a dying distant star. Each atom and each molecule defining who you are. Tempered like the finest steel falling from that great star wheel. Embrace this truth with fervent zeal, child of a dying star. All right. So a while ago, my friend Tim Griffin was looking for some songs for literary works, and been meaning to write a song for this book for a long time. So it's called "The Fire in Which We Burn," which is about Joe Haldeman's The Forever War. The fire in which we burn, war from which you can't return, and time cannot take you home again. War, a war that never ends. Well, I never had a choice when I was chosen for this war. The thing that I could tell you what we were fighting for. Some aliens we never met, they killed our colonies. So we learned to kill with every piece of our technology. In time which you can return. Time cannot take you home again. War that never ends. We learn to kill, we learn to fight across the galaxy. Well, back at home, the years pass by 'cause relativity. For me it's been a year or two, we left centuries ago. We may have won, perhaps we lost, there's just no way to know. And time is the fire in which we burn. A war from which you can return. Time cannot take you home again. War that never ends. When we got back, the earth so changed I didn't know a face. Out of time, out of step, just didn't have a place. A girl I knew re-enlisted to fight the next campaign. Well, I can't stay here, I volunteered to go back out again. And time, that's the fire in which we burn. War from which we won't return, 'cause time will never take you home again. War, this war that never ends. War, forever, never ends, never ends. All right, I'm gonna set down the 6 string and pull out the 12 string. So I wrote this a few years ago. Now, for those of you who don't know, out in the San Francisco Bay Area, several of the cities decided to plant some trees, and of course, they planted, flowering pear trees and flowering plum trees, stuff like that. And in the middle of the night, the people who lived there formed this guerrilla grafting movement and started grafting on fruiting buds to said trees, so that in a couple years they would actually provide urban forests with orchards and stuff. So excuse me. So this is called government trees. Let me tell you a story about government trees planted in a city by the bay. Planted for some greening, planted for the shade, and the city said it'd always be that way. Oh, government trees blowing in the breeze, government trees sterile and bare. Oh, government trees like government fees, growing larger here and everywhere. They didn't plant maples, did not plant oak, but flowering cherry and plum. So soon came the activists with sky on bud and knife, grafted on new leaf life blossom to those government trees blowing in the breeze. Government trees sterile and bare, government trees like government fees. stone fruit, peaches, cherries, plum, can be grafted, grown on the same tree. Likewise, rosacea, the quinces, apple, pear, if they're grafted together carefully on those government trees blowing in the breeze. Government trees sterile and bare. Oh, government trees like government fees, growing large here and everywhere, working in secret in the darkness of the night, waiting, watching their work grow. 3 or 4 years comes the bearing of the fruit, trees that feed not simply for show. Oh, those government trees blowing in the breeze, trees no longer barren and bare. Toast to the bees, the new people's trees, feeding people here and everywhere, growing larger here and everywhere. Support a tree, you can do your share. It's surprisingly heavy. All right. So I will now do one from the album, because you always do one from the album. So Space and Freedom. It's available in the dealer's room. I assume we have a dealer's room somewhere out here in virtual space. So this one's called Modern Myths. Moon landing's a fairy tale, I've heard some people say. Why, if we had ever reached the moon, we surely would have stayed. When I look into the heaven with its wonderment and awe, it's hard to say with confidence that argument is flawed. And you can light the torch of knowledge, you can rail against the dark, you can watch an abject horde as it gutters to a spark. My father still remembers on a trip through Germany. The year was 1969, Sunday, July 20. The radio announced the news, a cheer rose through the bus, and in wonder of the triumph, oh, it stood with us. 'Cause the future's still the future, and the past is still the past. And men once walked upon the moon, but the memories fading fast. And you can light the torch of knowledge, you can rail against the dark, you can watch an abject horde as it gutters to a spark. And we tell our children stories of the things that came before, but when we tell them of Apollo, they don't believe us anymore. No, Apollo's not a space program, he's a Greek god of the sun. And those worthless facts and figures, well, they just aren't any fun. And you can light the torch of knowledge, you can rail against the dark, you can watch an abject horde as it gutters to a spark. And the lights from our great cities hide the wonder of the skies. Some children grow up thinking the stars themselves are lies. But the thought that keeps me yearning and the thought that keeps me sane is what man has once accomplished, he may strive to do again. And I will raise a torch of knowledge like a beacon in the dark. Keep the promise of the future, breathe life into that spark. 'Cause the future's still unwritten and I recall the past. And men once walked upon the moon and their feet can be surpassed. And Prometheus may break his chains at last. Yes, Prometheus may break those chains at last. So, like many people, we've been working from home, filking from home, all sorts of things from home. And I was working from home on Tuesday, and this happened while I should have been working. It's been a long day telecommuting here. I've had a bad time, but at least I have some beer. I can feel the network connection slow. I don't care what they say. And I'm not gonna wear my pants today. No, I'm not gonna wear my pants. 'Cause I've got Skype and a phone I can remote to our network. I've got Skype for business to attend my meetings. I've got remote desktop, my email and my VPN work. I can reach my time card. I've got Skype. I've got Skype. Skype with no pants. We tune because we care. So back in February, everyone is writing songs. This one is just before that, actually. It was last... there we go. It's always that stream. Alright, so being a naturally depressing person, I wrote this last year for the 50th anniversary of landing on the moon. It's called 50 Years. Do you remember where you were that fatal day? Do you recall now how we said we're there to stay? Red and white and blue, blazing so proud against the gray, returned in triumph, then threw it all away. 50 years since those footprints in the dust. 50 years they rode 9 million pounds of thrust. 50 years we set our dreams aside to rust. 50 years, broken dreams and broken trust. remember when the future was foretold? Do you recall when we were willing to be bold? The first footsteps we thought were a foothold, when we were fearless against the dark and cold. 50 years since those first footprints in the dust. 50 years, she made 9 million pounds of thrust. 50 years, nothing's left but rust. 50 years, broken promises and trust. Let me remind you, we held tomorrow in our hands. It was a new day amid the rubble and the sand. That brilliant sky road leading out to new lands. When the future, it was ours to command. 50 years, there's still footprints in the dust. 50 years, looks like the future's been a bust. 50 years of tears, despair and rust. 50 years, broken dreams, broken trust. Do you remember where you were that fateful day? Well, we'll probably put that one on the next album, because the next album would also be a space-themed album. Somewhere around here. Aha! I found my water. This one is getting a little odd. I appear to have written a little 1960s protest song. I'm not sure how that happened, but these days every light matters. Another lamp against the darkness, one more light until the dawn. Another voice to break the silence, to call out right from wrong. There's a new world building, it's building every day, built upon the old world in a new and different way. Sometimes that world is better, sometimes it's not at all. Sometimes to build a new world, the old world has to fall. One more lamp against the darkness, one more light until the dawn. One more voice to curry reason and print a words or song. Or freedom could be on the march, or held in bitter chains. For every faded future, someone stands to gain. Go embrace the coming night now, or choose to raise your voice. And he who chooses nothing, well, they say he's made a choice. Light your lamp against the darkness, raise its light until the dawn. Lift your voice against oppression and the world it's built upon. One more lamp against the darkness, one more light until the dawn. Another voice to break the silence and to call out right from wrong. Light one lamp against the darkness. Anyway, let me try the 12 string again. Go. So, Elon Musk did me a mighty favor because he named his actual crew spaceship the Dragon, which means that it's just got so much potential for different songs. I wrote this one a couple years ago. It's a little bit out of date, but Elon had said that he was going to take one of the Dragon's capsules and just send it to Mars because, well, he could. So this one's called Dreams of Dragons. Tell me who has never dreamed of dragons. Tell me who has never dreamed of stars. And it seems I'm dreaming still. There's a fire o'er the hill, and a red dragon that set its sights on Mars. Well, first there was the Falcon 1, $10,000 a pound. A cheaper path to orbit if you shopped the world around. And they plan to build in hundreds, well, plans they go astray. Just like the first 3 Falcon, but they kept launching anyway. The first one failed in seconds, a bad fuel line was to blame. And harmonic oscillation killed the second just the same. The third was looking great until stage 1 crashed into 2. And even in disaster, they learned each time they flew. Tell me that you never dreamed of dragons. Tell me you never dreamed of stars. Well, the Falcon 1 flew 2 more times, each one flew just fine. So they scrapped the Falcon 5 and went straight on to number 9. They've over 80 launches, so far lost only 1. But the story isn't finished, in fact, she's just begun. Next they built a Dragon capsule, 'cause they're always aiming higher. And they taught the first stage Falcon to land on wings of fire. She's landing on a robot barge in the middle of the sea. They're bringing down the cost, you know, reuse, that's the key. And who here has never dreamed of dragons? Who here has never dreamed of stars? Now the Dragon's been to space many times, future flights paid for. And now they're aiming higher yet, just like they did before. They call her the Red Dragon, and she set her sights on Mars. No, she won't be coming back, but it's the first step to the stars. And who here has never dreamed of dragons? Has anyone here never dreamed of stars? And we might be dreaming still, but there's a fire o'er the hill, and a red dragon that set her sights on Mars. And who here has never dreamed of dragons? And for those who weren't paying attention in the news last week, I believe the Falcon 9 just stuck her 50th landing. All right. This is another one. This is another one from the album. This is the one that gets all the requests out here on my end of the world. It's meant to be a sing-along, so just try to sing along quietly in your own little quarantined areas as best you can. It's called Countdown Towards Tomorrow, and I wrote this after a long conversation with Mitchell Burnside Clapp about the various advantages of vertical liftoff versus horizontal liftoff and landing. So, it's about 16 years old now. The Countdown Towards Tomorrow. And the chorus goes like this. There's 5 seconds left till we rocket towards tomorrow. 4 seconds left and this bird is set to soar. 3 seconds left, runways clear before us. 2 seconds, 1 second, hear those engines roar. Oh, I'm sitting in the left-hand seat with a pumpkin in the right. He's never seen a good man die when a rocket fails in flight. He thinks he is the hottest thing that's ever learned to fly. But I remember when I rode a missile through the sky. And I guess I cannot fault him, nor heap on too much scorn. We started flying rocket planes before he was born. And there's 5 seconds left till we rocket towards tomorrow. 4 seconds left and this mood is set to soar. 3 seconds left, the runway is clear before us. 2 seconds, 1 second, hear those engines roar. Go over the checklist and the damn kid gets it right. I'm feeling mighty generous, so I let him hit ignite. The folks on orbit need all of the supplies we provide. But we pause for several seconds till I ram those throttles wide. We've little time for speeches, no traditions anymore. But the 5 second countdown honors those who went before. So we count 5 seconds left till we rocket towards tomorrow. 4 seconds left and this bird is set to soar. 3 seconds left, the runway's clear before us. 2 seconds, 1 second, hear those engines roar. Bring her down from orbit, line her up and land her clean. It's just another space flight, everything's routine. Taxi to the fuel farm, fill her up with JP8. Then refill the LOX tanks, check the oil while you wait. Grab a cup of coffee and a sandwich while you can. We've only got an hour till we fly to space again. When we'll count 5 seconds left till we rocket towards tomorrow. 4 seconds left and this bird is set to soar. 3 seconds left, the runway's clear before us. 2 seconds, 1 second, hear those engines roar. Well, it isn't how it used to be back in the days of old, when space was an adventure and no wonder to behold. We've given up the romance, we did it by design. The corporation's main concern concern must be that bottom line. And the benefits are lousy, we don't make what we're worth. Still, I've got the greatest job on off the earth. 'Cause there's 5 seconds left till we rocket towards tomorrow. 4 seconds left and this bird is set to soar. 3 seconds left, the runway's clear before us. 2 seconds, 1 second, hear those engines roar. 2 seconds, 1 second, hear those engines roar. Alright. So I had this out the other night. This thing that looks like a guitar is actually a baritone. So it's tuned 5 half steps lower than a normal guitar. And I'm going to do one by my old guitar teacher, Joe Betancourt, who is sadly no longer with us. It's called Beacon Hill. The tune is Spancel Hill. Last night, as I lay sleeping on a starship's outbound flight, 2 years out from Earth and climbing to the speed of light, I stepped aboard a vision and I followed with my will. I thought of home and family and the house on Beacon Hill. It being the 4th of July, when we are freedom won. Bought by brave men's courage, by sword and pen and gun. The young, the old, and the brave and bold, they came for sport and thrill. There were good times there with all my friends on the house on Beacon Hill. I want to see my neighbors, to hear what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning gray. The years fly by at the speed of light, but for us time stands still. And time has laid a heavy hand on the folks on Beacon Hill. I paid a flying visit to my first, my only love. She was soft as any lily, gentle as a dove. She had died 10 years before. Sweetheart, I love you still. For time goes slow at the speed of light, but not on Beacon Hill. I placed a flower upon her grave, I knelt, I said a prayer, asked the blessings of my family, all were married there. The ship's change bell, it sounded then, it sounded loud and shrill. And I woke aboard a starship many miles from Beacon Hill. Needless to say, the strings on this thing are a lot thicker than a regular guitar. Alright, we got plenty of time still. Okay. It's another newer one. I have no idea where this one came from. It's called Sword and Shield. I cannot cast aside this sword, this shield, down by the waterside, down by the glen. Cannot plant orchards nor plow my fields, rest by the waterside, rest again. Duty and family, ancient fading history, darkness rises like the tide again. Someone has to take the field, live or die, but dare not yield flesh and blood and sword and shield and men. And I cannot cast aside this sword and this shield, down by the waterside, down by the glen. With your shield on it, someone has to don it. Every generation fights again. The ancient old aggression and growing state oppression, placing justice and fetters on free men. And I cannot cast aside this sword and this shield, down by the waterside, down by the glen. Once more into the fight, stand against the night, the sword calling, take me down again. Duty stark and hollowed while fields are lying followed, separating wolf from lamb and men. And I cannot cast aside this sword and this shield, down by the waterside, down by the glen. Cannot plant orchards nor plow my field, rest by the waterside, rest again. Alright, this is an odd one. This is a Babylon 5 song. And I want to be clear. This is a Babylon 5 song. If you go to my SoundCloud, which is a Rocket Song, all the originals are allowed download. Okay? If it's a parody, I don't have permission for the music, so you can't download it. But if it's original, you can download it. And this is my #1 downloaded song by far. And this is a Babylon 5 song. So I'm presuming that people think it's a Christian song. So it's about the episode of Babylon 5 called Passing Through Gethsemane. And if you remember in Babylon 5, that's the one with the monk, I believe Brother Thomas, who is actually a murderer who's been mind wiped. And he explains the core of his belief to Delenn. And so that's what this is about. It's called Gethsemane. We all are wandering through Gethsemane. We all have to make our choice to run or hide while the soldiers abide. Be silent or raise our voice. We all have to face our Gethsemane. Each of us has his Gethsemane, a path with forks in the road. Turn left or right, retreat or fight. Cast off or pick up a load. How will you answer Gethsemane? This is the curse of Gethsemane, the pain, the free will, and life. Behold the curse of Gethsemane that cuts the soul like a knife. Two paths exit Gethsemane, two paths and you must choose. Pray, run away, or meekly obey. There is no win, no lose, only the choice of Gethsemane. We all are wandering Gethsemane. All of us have a Gethsemane. All right. So, one of these days at a Phil convention, I really want to have a concert where everybody who has written a song about a Google self-driving pickup truck leaving you all like does their songs for one giant concert, because I think that would be fun. So this is mine. It's called Driving Off. My Google self-driving pickup up and left me too. Never saw it coming, was a bolt out of the blue. A woman might be fickle, crops and weather too, but I never thought I'd say goodbye to you. My family's owned this patch of land since the days of wagon trains. Survived droughts and blizzards, we often prayed for rain. The only thing that's constant is your family and friends, and they ought to be there till the bitter end. Grandpa planted acres with horses and with mules, but he never trusted bankers. No, Granddad was no fool. The cash for an old Chevy when his horse was growing old, and it never left him stranded in the cold. Oh, my Google self-driving pickup up and left me too. Never saw it coming, like a bolt out of the blue. Oh, women might be fickle, crops and weather too, but I never thought I'd say goodbye to you. The crops are dying in the field, my old dog run away, but my truck was faithful till the end, well, at least until today. As for the old lady, she's a cheating, lying whore. Forget the tales, you've heard that song before. Yeah, we worked this land for decades with skill and grit and luck. When all else had failed you, you can count upon your truck. Now my truck has run away. It's been a lousy year. All that is left is my faithful John Deere. Oh crap. My Google self-driving pickup up and left me too. Never saw that coming, was a bolt out of the blue. Women might be fickle, crops and weather too, but I never thought I'd say goodbye to you. The damn pickup up and left me too. Alright, we got do one more and we'll call it done, and that'll clear us in plenty of time for the open filking. This one is called The Undiscovered Country, and we mean the undiscovered country in the sense of the future per Chancellor Gorkon, and not the undiscovered country in terms of death like Hamlet. So just to be clear on that. And all the chords are easy, so I think I can use my 12 again. Swinging my left hand will do it. They say the future's the undiscovered country. They say tomorrow is a land you never can explore. What's past that next hill? Oh, that's the call of human will. Every day, no more than before. Grab yourself a walking stick, see what you can find. Pondering your rectitude, the secrets of the mind. There's always something new out there beyond the marker signs. Beyond the maps, past the borderline. There's always something new beyond the ridge line. Always something new to see just on the other side. They say the future's the undiscovered country. They say tomorrow is a land you never can explore. What's past that next hill? It's the call of human will. And every day we know more than before. The maps I read, there's dragons here, have faded all away. The dark and unknown places no longer hold their sway. Nowhere new left to explore, but we need to anyway. A new adventure for a brand new day. There's always something new beyond the skyline. Always something new to see up and out that way. So call the future the undiscovered country. You never know quite what she'll bring, she hasn't brought before. And the call of human will is to seek beyond each hill and find new things we never have explored. Oh, we need a new frontier somewhere beyond this sphere, exploring where we've never been before, to find a place we've never gone before. Alright, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Mark, for putting this all together, moderating, and making sure everything's gone smoothly. And we'll see everyone in the open field.